Dolly Parton. Do you think she cares if you're going to say she has fake boobs or that she's fake? No, because she knows who she is.
All right, we're in here. Got a bunch of awards behind me and a cool place. But we're in here with my good buddy Sam Williams. Sam, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good, dude. I'm overstretched, I think, today, but I'm flexing. You know.
Yeah,
so.
you just got back from doing the news and all kinds of publicity this week.
Mm-hmm. Did the news this morning. WSMV. Channel 4. It's funny because they got the snowbird. So, girl, I'm from West Tennessee. So, like, when you're out of school for snow, the snowbird, they come on and say what counties are out of school and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this huge 6 or 7 foot thing in there, and it's in there in the studio. And I was like, in there at 8:30 a.m., like, oh my God, this is. Yeah. And last time I went there before, I sang Weatherman, and it was 5.5, 6 years ago. Voice is gone. Interesting beard pattern. Then, and very acoustic. And I was singing Honky Tonkin' today, you know, full track, moving my ass around. So it was a little different this time.
Yeah. Well, I met you. We were just talking about it off camera, but I met you about 2 years ago, I guess it was, and we've been buddies. And you've always been good to me, and we've always been friendly, and you've always been good to everybody around you, as far as I know. And I appreciate the heck out of your friendship.
Hey, man, I try to. You're good peoples. I don't know if I'm extremely that way to absolutely everyone. I wouldn't say that. But I don't know if I have the best guide, but I have a good guide. You're super good peoples. And we were just talking before, and like, I think that what you do as far as your work, since we've only met really through that, is from an informational standpoint and respect to like what was and what is, and you know, in between. And that's cool. I think that nowadays, like, most stuff it's about like what people want to see.
Right.
Click this. This is crazy. Da 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 da. This is controversial, and it is cool to like just be informative. You know.
Yeah.
I was a damn nerd. I told my son yesterday that I got most studious in 8th grade, and he was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "Dude, why do you think I'm like I was a nerd, dude? Like, knowing stuff is cool, and being yourself is cool. So like, you do a good job at being yourself. I try to do my best to be myself at the same time."
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And I have a reverence for history altogether. I've always loved history, but country music history specifically, just because I love country music history. And I know you have that. You have to have that same reverence because, I mean, you're a direct line.
For me, it's like a in the blood thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the half about country music that you do. I know plenty things about, you know, the climate and, you know, history, but as far as like all of the artists and the different things and the intertwining of them, no, I do not. I go to Bobby Tomerlin for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I need a country music historian moment, I'm like, Bobby, listen. So, did Crystal Gale? You know, I'm gonna do that.
Bobby'd be one to know. He's well informed.
Yeah, he definitely knows. But I would hit you second. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be in that line at least.
But if somebody was to ask, you know, I mean, what do you think Hank Sr. would have thought about this, or blah, 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 or something like that, you know, I may be most inclined to be in touch.
Yeah. I mean, that's all. You know, I see.
That's like a smile and shake my head moment together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we just actually, this past weekend, we went down to Montgomery and went to the museum and went out to the grave and just walked those streets, which we about had a heat stroke down there. It's very hot in Montgomery right now, as you would know. But we had a good time, man. We loved the museum down there and just going to see all of your grandfather's things and your father's things, and of course they've expanded and have some George Jones and whatnot in there. But man, it's just a feeling of walking the streets down there and going out to the grave of it's
Yeah.
a eerie stillness almost.
Well, I think that, I just did a documentary down there a couple months ago that's going on BBC in the UK. So it's like this major documentary there with a real famous actor. His name's Rob. Can't get his last name. And it's about, country music history and what it is now, and kind of like a road trip through history of country music and the threads to today. So here I am up here. Ta-da. And hung out with them down there. And I think that, seeing all that stuff, I obviously didn't grow up there. I grew up in Paris, Tennessee, a couple hours from here. So that compounded with Hank Sr. passing 40 years before I was born, and my dad, his age and his life, it's crazy, one of a kind of life. It is removed in a sense, and I didn't always know the answers to it. Like, where do I fit into this, and like, what does it mean?
Right. And
that's anybody's life kind of thing. But being down there filming that, you're going in the museum, walking with me, and what I'm saying, I felt really more the longing for more, like the want for more, the want for better circumstances, the want to dream and to see the world. That's something that's always been in me, and it really was kind of clicking for me there that, like, he was someone from, I've always felt it, but like that was the most strong feeling, was that like he was someone that wanted more, wanted to find the common thread that does connect people. And that's emotion, that's feelings, and feelings like absolute heartbreak, and feelings like burn it down, fun. And burn it down fun now and then is a different thing, but I felt like the dreamer, and that dreamer was in me growing up, and I just didn't really know, I wasn't sure like who he was yet, and why. And that's like, you don't get to know, but that's the whole point of it. You see looking back, and I may not even realize like what I'm saying right now. Tomorrow I won't feel that way, and then you look back and you're like, that's part of the whole thing.
Yeah. I was told a story about Hank Sr. while I was down there by Daryl, Beth's brother. Great guy. I mean, he's there.
Shout out to Daryl.
Daryl's wonderful people, and Beth. And but he told me a story about Hank Sr. that I had not heard, and it really shined a light on who he was as a person that I hadn't seen before. But he was doing a show down somewhere around there, and before he went to go out, they had an opening act that was doing blackface, and which was popular during that time, I guess. And Hank went out there, and he saw a black family out in the crowd, and they were, kind of had their heads hung. Of course, they wouldn't enjoy something like that. And Hank told the promoter to get them off the stage. He said, "Don't you see you're hurting those people? I'm not going out if you don't get them off the stage," and made him get the blackface people off stage, because he knew that those black folks was his fans, and he didn't want to see them hurting like that. And I thought, man, in that time, that could have hurt him immensely. There were some dangerous people in that part of the world, and he stepped up and did that. And I thought, wow, what a incredible human being.
Yeah. And I mean, I obviously didn't always know that, because I didn't get to know him
right
in my life. But there's a general sense of a humanness to him that's like not centered in just an ego. And ego's a part of a lot of making music and a lot of performance and art in general, but a lot of it wasn't ego, and it was connection. Not me about to shout out Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King, a mutual network of no, I don't got it, but it's everybody has similar life experiences and feelings, and we are all more connected than we think. Sorry, MLK. And I think that he was someone that was in touch with that then. Obviously, he learned so much about guitar and music in general from T-Tot. And, they weren't supposed to be seen together in public. He would have to learn guitar from him underneath the porch out of, view from people, because then you couldn't be, young people couldn't be out with black kids during the day and stuff like that in South Alabama. And, didn't come from something grand and great. And I think that like something that, really irks me, and it's just, is what it is that nowadays people see country music as like this ego-based, nostalgic-based, Ten Commandment style kind of club, I guess, and lore, when it's not that, and it's a it's a spirit, and it was about truth, and it was about connection, and it was a really exciting and welcoming thing. As far as people like my grandfather's, people like Hank, it was a inviting, welcoming thing that was in search of more. He was a damn dreamer. Worked at a shipyard, came from nothing. His dad a veteran, and he wrote songs. He would go to stores and get magazines about love stories that were just made up then, like the comics, and write songs about that. And obviously had his own crazy life in general, and then did something great with that dream. Not about, that's the thing, dude. That's the thing, Dylan, is like, people think that they may think of like Hank Sr. as this person, like this protector of country ideals, values, and sonic integrity. And that is not something that he was. He was
an innovator.
He was an innovator, a dreamer, a doer, a risk taker, a rebel, a mistake maker, a sinner, but someone who brought the connection between the humanness and the from above, from somewhere else, and wasn't, his music and his style and persona wasn't designed to exclude. It was designed to include. Yeah. So me being where I am in my life, being one of the only major label, gay male artists in Nashville there's ever been, it's an interesting juxtaposition, God. Yeah. But I think that, people miss the point of like what it was then. And I know some people won't want to hear me explain this, but like, I think that even a reporter told me yesterday, they were saying, I think if Hank was alive, if he could be in this time, if that was a thing, he would be going down 8th Avenue in a Cadillac, playing Moneybag Yo like you were this morning. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And I think that, his influences, a lot of his influences were church-based, it seems, growing up there, and faith and the church and everything and culture then. A lot of mine would have come from playing the radio, playing XM radio, figuring out what the heck the internet is. My first YouTube search for Hank Williams or my dad, whatever, it was a shut the computer. It was like, oh my God, why is there 10 million results? So it's like, I don't know. I think that like you're a product of your environment, your experiences, your influences and stuff, like what you're exposed to and what you come from. And I hate that people get the conversation in country music so wrong. It sucks, and I'm against it. But it is what it is. And I love when somebody does get it from my perspective. Like what I do in context of my family's legacy in country music, because it's not all about that for me. My music is about me. It's not about Hank Williams. It's not about Hank.
Yeah.
It's not about my dad.
Yeah.
It's about my life, because mine is, you know, not theirs.
Yeah.
It is influenced by, and it is a product of, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just like anybody in general.
Yeah. Well, I hate to bring up, negative comments and stuff. But
Don't we?
I see your videos all the time. And I see a comment that happens all the time is, "Oh, Hank would be rolling in his grave," And I think, first off, how despicable do you have to be to tell someone's grandson that their grandfather would be rolling in their grave because of who they are?
I ought to be sending you a check every week to make this video for me. Yeah, I mean, dude, I just didn't grow up that way. Like, I'm funny.
Yeah.
Or I might say the wrong thing at the right time. I'm really good at that. But I'm not disrespectful, and I don't approach people like I know everything about them. So when people assume they know everything about, me,
Yeah.
my family, my grandfather who died in 1953, things they know nothing about, like a 15-year-old, like on the internet, like they grew up on Hank, they got a truck in their fucking Instagram picture. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I think that for me, it was definitely a difficult thing to grapple with for forever. And it still is. I'm still trying to make it happen now. And it's busy. And it's an everyday thing. Especially in this kind of climate we got to swim in. But I think when Dolly was on my song, when I got Dolly to, she said yes to being in my song, and I later on met her, and like that experience and through that,
yeah,
I got to really understand. And I was already starting to get it, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, I'm for real. Like, this isn't about my family, it's about me. And I think that was like really validating for me, that I was like, wow, I have to like really keep going, and people see that. And like, I think that she was just such an inspiration to me, one of the biggest in country music, because most of my influences weren't all from country music, I love, there's a couple pop country classics that's for me, because the 2010s, like pop country takeover. So I have an affinity for Luke Bryan. And some Keith, Tim. But I think looking at Dolly's career, like looking at it in general from, the 60s, the very, very beginning, being so young in that dream, and what it evolved to, and through the Porter stuff and everything she did in pop, like straddling the line.
Yeah.
Just in the most original way.
Oh, yeah.
And then, the branch into freaking everything else in the world it's the blueprint. And it was just, I think it's just amazing. And that was so inspiring to me, that like, you can be yourself. People could say that, Dolly Parton has a fake persona or anything like that. That's not true. But like, you can be yourself and it work. And that's the point. And it clicks. Aha. I did a show with Amanda Shires during CMA Fest at the Listening Room.
Yeah.
And I love Amanda Shires. She's just so, I think she's very innovative. She's so quirky and like herself. And being on stage with her, like just some stuff she would say, I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, that's me. Like, wow, it is, it's cool to be yourself. And that's the point of being an artist, is to like,
absolutely,
is to do your own thing. So like, that's something that's a hard thing with Damn Nashville, is like, you got to go look at the playlist. I got to go look at the playlist. I do, at least. And everybody's song is like, very similar from the image persona to the subject matter in general, and not that not that singular to somebody's a new thing.
Yeah.
And I cannot help for the life of me, Dylan, but like I have to do that. I have to do the new thing. I have to do something that's just me. And like some people don't like that, but I can't help it.
That runs in your blood.
Yeah. But I mean, I'd say like No Problem on my new album. I'd say, it's a pop country smash kind of song. And it's not, I didn't reinvent the wheel there. No, but it was me embracing my influences and, what music I like now, what music we bump now, and lightheartedness in my music for the first time. Because I'm used to singing about heartbreak and pain and, this abstract movie I'm going to have you watch and listen to. And a little bit now I've been able to have fun with it and not just be in that. And, I'm glad that I didn't just start out that way, because it made the point of making music to me to be real. And that's what I knew from the get-go, was that I have to write about my life and like what it is in the world that I want to create. And I think that's what all the artists that I've always loved have done. Yeah.
Well, the second point I wanted to make there about the whole Hank rolling in his grave thing is, I'm not going to say I'm the most studied on Hank Sr., because there are some people out there who, I mean, they put their life work into Hank Sr.'s life. But I mean, my podcast is the Drifting Cowboy, after the band. I'm a huge fan of Hank Sr., and I know a lot about him. And anybody who says that, I don't think knows Hank Sr., really, which, as far as I know,
it's a figure.
There may be only 3 people still alive that ever met Hank. Your dad, Lucretia, Manuel, I think, said met him one time. Other than that, everybody's dead. So nobody knew him on a personal level that's still living, other than those people. But what we do know about him, he wasn't a miserable, hateful person. A lot of times he's painted as someone who was miserable. You had the blues all the time. But if you go back and watch Don Helms, Jerry Rivers, all these people who were with him all the time, he was a funny guy. He was a loving guy. He was a caring guy and an accepting guy. And I don't think that's true at all. And I think those people are I think that's an ignorant statement to make. And I just want to, I had to come on here and say that.
Oh, dude. Thank you, dude. I mean, people just are crazy. Is that what Billy Currington said?
Yeah,
see?
That's Bobby Braddock too.
I mean, Hank Williams would hate Billy Currington. He'd probably love Billy Currington. He's the freaking coconut man, dude. Like, that's cool. Have your own thing. Do your own thing. I appreciate that. It's just that, how did it happen? I don't know. Him being so young and everything he did. I'm 28. And he was 29 when he passed. And my life was a lot different. And there's a lot of parallels that, have to be personal to me that can be difficult. But no, I mean, people just get it wrong. And people are just hateful and ornery now. And, I mean, I think that it became a lot about personality. We're talking about making music before there's really album covers. Before there's really like, you don't even get to add multiple tracks. This is one cut,
Right.
Music is completely different. The industry and the world in general since then. So, if he was so, accepting of people of African Americans, people of different races, people of different backgrounds, and was about the connection of people through that feeling, that human emotion, I would imagine that he would have been really happy to see the civil rights movement,
Mm-hmm.
to see rock and roll happen.
Yeah.
I mean, in my heart of hearts, I don't think that he would have been somebody who had been against, Elvis and
Mm-hmm.
everything that happened after. So, like, what would his music have sounded like in 1959, or what would it have sounded like in
Right.
1967?
Yeah.
Exactly. People don't get to just take that. And I hate that, it's been for me for a long time, and I've had to be very, like, forward and, you know, head forward about it. But, like, um, they want to take that from me, whether it's because of my image, sexuality, vocal tone, fashion, whatever. I don't know. They want to take that power from me. So, like, I've always looked up to the artists that don't allow people to take that from them. Dolly Parton, do you think she cares if you're going to say she has fake boobs, or that she's fake, or that she whatever, or anything? No, because she knows who she is. And you have to not know who you are for a long time, and sort of always, but, like, that's the point of figuring it out. So, like, I think when I first started making music more serious when I was 19, 20, that's why Glass House Children, my first album, is so emotional, and it's so, like, storytelling of I think just growing up and how it was different than the general perspective of what most people thought, probably.
Right.
And fun music, that some songs like Kids and 10-4, that was just, like, more encapsulated, like, the kid in me that, like, couldn't believe that I actually was doing what I said I was going to do.
Right.
And I did not talk about music really ever. I didn't do music in high school. I did a talent show once. I lost Froggy Idol. I was not a kid who was, like, in the band, who was, like, writing songs. No. But I was a very scholastic kid. I was athletic. I was very versatile. I said in an interview yesterday, like, if there's a class of 20-something kids, and there's the jock athletes, football, there's popular girls, there's emo kids, and then there's, like, weird kids. I don't know. I was definitely the person who was between them all. And maybe I didn't get along with certain people at certain times, but, like, that's, like, where I fit in. And I think that's where I fit in music as well. Like, like, do I like some Morgan Wallen? Well, hell yeah, I do like some Morgan Wallen. And I do like some old Jason Aldean. Do I like Jason Aldean now? No. Do I disagree with a lot of stuff in, the real world that people think, and in the music industry? Yes. And, like, it's okay to have your own, thoughts and your own damn songs that you wrote, and I think that's just, like, how it should be. And I kind of, like, maybe I lean in a little too hard to, like, I kind of love people getting the impression of, like, me on my album cover looking fly and cute or whatever, and they think whatever they think about me, and they're like, this is so packaged and it's so fake and it's so whatever, when in reality it's so real.
Yeah.
And it's so me. And I wouldn't be doing something if it wasn't. And, like, I get to keep that for me. Dolly says that too. Have the things you can keep for yourself. And, like, for me, it's that live my life, write my music. I'm who I am. Nobody can take it from me. And I'd say that to anybody. And me and my dad were that way growing up. Me and my dad are born 4 days apart, Geminis. I mean, far apart in age. He'd get mad over hot dog buns, and I wouldn't have it, And, I mean, I've just kind of always been that way. I was shy when I was, like, pretty young, I think. And then had to quickly realize, like, oh, my God, I'm going to have to figure out how to be myself slowly, or I'm going to get run the hell over. And I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I have a pretty interesting connection going way back that we've talked about before. I don't know if you remember it, because this would have been probably the first time we ever met.
Is it Shreveport?
No, it was, I went to your dad's show. I was a kid. You was a kid too. in
Oh.
Kinder, Louisiana.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And you came out and sang, I think it was Blues Man.
I had braces.
With your dad. And I told you about it, and you said that you thought that was probably your first time going out on stage.
And singing with him? I think it was.
Which is pretty crazy.
Because I remember a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. It was cool to see you come out on stage.
And how old were you then?
Oh.
I had to have been 14. 13 maybe.
I'm only a couple years older than you, I guess.
Yeah.
So we was both kids at the time.
Yeah. That wasn't an embarrassing time. I've come out some embarrassing times. I didn't go over, as you would say. Not hardly, as my dad would say. Yeah, that was cool, though. I remember my sister was there, too. My sister Katie was there. I think she probably walked out and sang, too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool show to be at. And then to find out all those years later when I was telling you I saw it, and you said, I think that was the first time I went on stage with him. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Oh, me. That is funny.
But you and your dad definitely, you've told me some stories about you and your dad butting heads that was just funny. You and your dad's relationship to me, when you tell me stories about it, it always gets a good chuckle.
Well, I mean, like, it's just that way. I'm a Tennessee fan. Always have been since I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard Tennessee fan. My dad is an Alabama fan. And I don't see, like, I mean, obviously he was 5 in 1954, so like I don't think that he was then. Right? Yeah. But in becoming, he's an Alabama fan, but like I'm not. And that's an X for me. Like that's a no. I couldn't even fall in love with a guy that was an Alabama fan. It would be a deep seed in my heart that I would be like, I knew this was wrong. And he had to be a Tennessee fan like my whole life. I mean, because I grew up crying every Saturday because we lost. Always. I mean, the 2000s, dude, 2003 to 2010, it was rough.
Yeah.
And Saturdays were rough for me because I was excited. And I had my jersey and all kinds of stuff. So my dad's a teddy bear at heart. He just has lots and lots of hard layers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's interesting to grow up. And although we're so different, you know, I'm very informed from his life, too, you know, just by proxy, like we all are. And realize that you're, you know, so different and you may feel like weird about it. And then you realize you're so similar in so many ways to like people in your family or something.
Yeah.
And sometimes I say or do something and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said or did that. That wasn't even me. That was my dad. Or, you know, that like an ism, you know, I guess. I love doing a Hank-ism. I do. I can't help it. One thing that he would do when I was growing up, he would always be like when being funny about something, and I'm pretty funny as a parent, I like to think, but he would say something like, when I move, you move, just like that. Like he had rings on, and he always would do Merle Kilgore rings. Like that was him and Merle's thing. So like even when he's older and he's on his 50s and I'm young and he's like, he definitely would be, you know, oh yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. You know, he'd be that. And, you know, admittedly, I became that way as well. I just don't have the rings yet. I got to get some more rings.
Well, I know.
I got 2 rings today. I don't think they're going to go for much if I took them in, though.
Well, I know living the life you did, you were around some interesting characters, and you just brought up Merle Kilgore, which I know he would have passed away when you were pretty young, but
yeah.
Was he like a uncle figure or a grandfather figure to you?
Man, there's a lot of stuff I just don't remember, but I definitely grew up around Merle. I think he passed when I was 8, 7 or 8, and in Paris. And I know he had an Escalade EXT because I was obsessed with the Escalade EXT, like the truck version. I wanted one so bad. Never got one. Didn't get that. But Merle had that. He had a parrot at home that said stuff. It was crazy. I mean, you know, I think that
I would love
I
to
got
know
to
what
be.
Merle Kilgore's parrot said.
It would say Judy because that was his wife's name.
Would it say the deal of a lifetime?
Dude, I don't know. But dude, it's funny, like me and some of my friends, like my guitar player, whoever, we're very different. And like my dad and Merle were not similar at all. My dad's a hunter, sportsman, you know, deer, fish, outdoors. It's not like about the standard of country music to him. It's about, you know, being outside.
Yeah.
But not when it's hot. Not when it's hot. And I mean, Merle wasn't somebody who hunted, fished. There's a picture of him fishing. I think there's a picture of him deer hunting, like this huge joke thing. But he didn't, like, he was not that. He was a fancy, schmancy, you know, businessman.
Yeah.
And I think my dad loved to tap into that and be that. And he loved to pretend to be just have fun. And just be redneck. And I have a good buddy, Sam Boyd, and he was Merle's godson. So he grew up around him growing up and, you know, obviously lost him and stuff. And it's a similar thing I think we all go through where, like, you have a connection to something that you didn't really fully get to have. And you have to figure it out. And so, you know, I think that we connect over that for sure. And he's older than me. But I think that, you know, maybe he, for example, worked in music plenty of things, not like as an artist and stuff, but like seeing me come from a different world that he's familiar with or whatever. And like, I'm different than everyone. My music's different. It's a different time. I do different sounds. I'm openly gay. You know, I'm a pretty looking guy and shit, they say. But like, it's the dream, it's the spark, it's the innovation, and it's the doer in people. And like, you know, I think that I love my people, my bros and like my girls that are like, they want to make it happen. And like, that's how I've always been. I've always been like, I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting at times. Today we've been on the news and we're here and I got to go get my kid and go to rehearsal tonight for a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I didn't think I was going to do music most of my whole life.
Yeah.
And I thought that I would like stay away from it out of fear.
Right.
And I didn't. And thank God, you know.
Yeah. Well, you have some new stuff that's just coming out. Reimagining of Honky Tonkin'.
Yes, sir.
Just tell us about that whole project.
About Act 2?
Yeah.
Well, my new album, that wasn't your best intro, Dylan. You've got some better ones than that one. Come on, brother.
Let me get the drum out.
Yeah. Well, it came out Friday.
I was lucky enough to hear
some
of Act 2 a year ago on your phone after CMA Fest. We went over to Hank's bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you showed me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you showed me a few of the songs off of it, so I was already knew.
You knew what was coming.
Yeah,
you weren't a shot. Yeah. Well, Act 2 is called Country Star. So it's a middle project of trilogy I have coming out, and obviously it's a big departure from most of my music thus far. And I think that like I'm about to kill myself keeping mentioning my dad and grandpa, but dang, dude, I think as he always would say, and many times, so many decades ago, you know, tired of singing them old sad songs and trying to find himself, standing in the shadows, living proof, you know, trying to get away from something that he was connected to and not, and different than, you know, and born into. Same for me. And I think that I've always been serious in my, I'm going to write all my songs. I'm not going to let people take things from me. I'm who I am and was made to be, etc. And I've been through a lot. And so that came out in my music naturally. And then, but me on a real life personal basis, like I'm listening to the Carter 3 by Lil Wayne. You know,
Yeah.
I'm listening to damn, 2010s R&B mixes and stuff. Like I grew up in that kind of music. And the internet and my sister coming in my room to watch Laguna Beach and whatever when I was too young to watch it. And it's a different time. And I think that like me getting to be myself in my music now and like have a little bit more fun with it. The country aspect, I think, to my music comes from the spirit. It's just like the spirit in me in general. It doesn't come down to instruments. And I think that is a really grand misconception of people, that country music is about the sonics and just about instruments and stuff. Well, of course, in some ways. But a lot of it comes down to storytelling, sure, and the truth, sure, and the spirit of someone. Jelly Roll, for example. Would Hank be rolling in his grave at Jelly Roll? I mean, according to y'all, well, hell yeah, he'd be backflipping, But I mean, no, I think that's even Jelly said about me, that in our documentary we did, that he sees me as a rebel for my spirit and my music, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it well. And I think that, finally getting to come out in my music and especially do honky tonk, and it was just a last kind of minute idea I had, and it took me a minute to really get together. But I'm like, I want to do this in a way that's fun and that's, different and fun and new, and also is like, real warm and like familiar in a way.
Right. Yeah.
The first verse I wrote for the first verse was bad, and I'm glad I didn't use it. But I mean, I definitely did make it in a way that I don't want people, and I hope that people understand this. I don't know if they do, but I don't want people to listen to my music and think this is what he thinks country music is, or this is a statement on, my music's not a statement on anything besides what it is and who I am and the world that I've built around Sam Williams.
It's just the music
That's
that you
what
like
it
to
is.
create.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, my name is Sam Williams because that's my name, not because I named myself to be an artist after my grandpa. Well, no, brother, it's just my name.
Yeah.
I could have did Hank 4, maybe. No, I'm not. See, and I think that like that's the spirit. Even my half brother. My nephew Coleman Williams, Shelton's son. He has a thing that's his, and a very a spirit that's very unique to him. In the same way that Holly does, and Hillary does, I do, and my late sister Katie did. It's not all about music and mandolins, y'all. It's about being yourself and honoring what you come from and being the person that takes it into whatever's next.
Yeah.
I'm being so inspirational today, bro. I need to go to church. But like I put a poll up on my Instagram yesterday. It was of my billboard for Act 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, up in the Nashville sign. And it said, why do you want to make it? Why do you want to succeed? Quote unquote. And I said, to prove them wrong, or to prove yourself right, or to leave something great behind, or are you not sure yet? And for me, it's to leave something great behind.
Yeah.
It is to prove them wrong. It is to prove myself right. And I'm also not sure yet, but it is to leave something great behind and to give people quality, give people intention, give people art, and, make mistakes and have fun and live my life in the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited about everything you got going on. You're a good friend, a good person, and I love to see it. Love to see what you got coming, and your whole family is talented. Your brother and sisters. I just love watching what all of y'all have going on, and I'm excited for you. I know you're a real busy man. You've been rocking and rolling. You was telling me about everything you've been doing, and
sometimes, man. I've also been in a home a little bit this summer.
Oh yeah.
Fishing. I don't think I went fishing maybe once last year, and I've been like fishing in Paris and been on the lake a couple times,
You know, I
which is like
hadn't
a
even been fishing
reset
this
for
year.
me. I grew up on the lake, so like getting to go on a pontoon boat, pick 5 songs to play and get burnt and like drink 3 Modelo's is like I forgot. I saw Priscilla Block at CMA Fest, and I was like, "Girl, you are like always on a boat, like doing something fun, looking like I want to. Please bring me to your boat. I want to go." So I'm sending that to you too. So if I ever see you out on a damn boat in plaid and square toe boots in the sun, I'm gonna expect you to hit me up so I can come.
That square-toed boot was a dig at me because I don't think we had cameras rolling when we had this discussion, but I had some square-toe boots, and Sam made fun of me for them and said they were the squarest square-toe boots he had ever seen. So now I have some pointy toe
Well, they had
boots.
to be like, what's the extra letter on them when that means the toe is wide?
Yeah,
Like
it was. They were pretty square.
They weren't steel toe. They were wide toed. Oh man, bro.
But no, I appreciate you and your friendship and you're good people. I wouldn't be sitting here with you if you wasn't good people. So any of the naysayers, the heck with them. I'm just proud of what you're doing and love watching you progress as an artist and see what you got up your sleeve next and just
Sweat today.
yeah. Thank you for coming on and everybody. Tell everybody where they can go. See what shows you have coming up and music and
one
whatnot.
more plug.
Yeah.
Well, dude, just thank you for having me. When we met, just did the first little video thing we did.
Mm-hmm.
You had, I guess, so much happened since then.
Oh yeah.
So much and attention and
Feels like 10
you were doing
years
something
ago.
so real that was just you. And look at it, so dope. So I'm glad to have made that connection with you and us to get to be here and be friends and stuff. Dude.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me. I love when people get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I like to make music, and I have to talk about everything else a lot of the time. But like, I enjoy making music.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. So on that note, my new album, Act 2 Country Star, just came out on Friday, July 11th. It has Honky Tonkin', which is me and Hank singing together for the first time. Country Star, my first hip-hop song, is going to come out of left field for you probably. And I think just some of my most fun and bold music yet. And I'm excited for everyone to hear it and to hear what comes after and see what happens. And pretty fun being here, dude. Talk to you.
Well, we appreciate you, Sam, and thank you. And y'all go be sure to check that out. Keep up with Sam on the socials and everywhere, and you can see where he's going to be playing. Go check out one of his shows. I've been to a few of them at this point and be going to another one pretty soon, and they're always electric and fun, and it's always a real good time. So y'all be sure to go check it out, and we appreciate y'all for listening.